Alone at the edge of a universe, humming a tune, or merely dreaming we were snow.
You're now listening to the Lycaeus Frequency. All right. We are back from our technical difficulties. Glad to hear you all are listening at home. And tonight we have a story from somewhere in Connecticut. It was about 11 p.m. on a warmer summer night, and I was driving home from a friend's house on a fairly rural back road here in Connecticut. From a distance, I could see a cop car with its lights on, pulled up in the middle of my lane, parked side by side to a pickup truck. My first instinct was that maybe the truck had hit something or been pulled over. But it was weird, because the cop wasn't pulled up behind the truck like they do. It was parked parallel to it. I had my windows down because it was nice out and could hear the cop and the man in the car shouting in conversation through their windows. I listened to the two talk from their windows and overheard the man in the truck say something like, "Man, something isn't right. It's not hit or injured. I just found it like that." And this grown man had genuine fear in his voice and was just pointing out frantically out of his window, going on and on about how they should just shoot it. I turned my attention in the direction of where the guy and the cop are pointing, and my headlights illuminate this sight of a deer that is, in quotes, sitting directly beside the cop's car. It was extremely weird, because the deer was sitting in perfect alignment with the yellow lines on the road, as if it had been intentionally trying to place itself on the line and in the direct middle of the two lanes. This thing looked like a prop or a statue the way it had assembled itself. I could see a liquid pooled around the deer that I had assumed was blood, until I realized that the deer was seemingly uninjured and showed no visible signs of wounds or blood. While scanning the scene from my car behind the cop, I realized that the liquid that was pooled around it wasn't blood, but was actually saliva that was falling from the animal's mouth like a waterfall and collecting all over the road and down its neck. Its head was weirdly shaped, skinnier than it should have been, in contrast to its giant body. It was bobbling like a bobblehead on a dashboard, staring straight in the direction of the cop and the truck. It looked hypnotized or something. I thought maybe it had rabies. Then I kind of tuned into my body, and my stomach knotted up, and my heart started racing. I can't describe the feeling here, but it sort of felt like I realized that time was moving super slowly, like in a dream or daze. I was deciding if I should just wait there, behind the cars, or go around the scene in the opposite lane, when I noticed something else that was so off. This deer was sitting in a position that unnerved me to no end. This animal was literally sitting crisscross applesauce style with its legs and its joints all contorted and pretzeled in a way that seemed physically impossible, unless it had been manipulated by someone to do that. It was even more weird that it was sitting this way in the dead middle of the road, directly aligned with the yellow line. It all looked so off, and I felt like I was it was being experienced and processed by me in a disconnected and kind of a time-bending way. It sounds like some kind of disassociation. I immediately felt this unfamiliar, paralyzing fear inside my stomach and chest. I felt like I wasn't seeing something, or I shouldn't be seeing this, and I was someplace I shouldn't be. I just want to get out of there, so I slowly, to avoid interaction with the cop, veered into the opposite lane and creeped by the deer. My intuition was strongly telling me not to look out my passenger side window as I inched past the animal, who was now about eye level to my car and 2 feet away. I ended up looking, and when I did, it was like this thing knew before my eyes had even touched it that I was looking at it. This deer shot its head around to face me and lock eyes with me as I looked at it. And I will never ever forget its eyes and the feeling they evoked in me. They were black, darker than shadows black, and stared at me with some kind of intention or intelligence or something. I was physically paralyzed and drawn to a complete stop for what felt like minutes, while this deer just stared at me with its cold eyes. I know this sounds crazy. Maybe it was just the fear, but those moments I was making eye contact with it, I felt like I was in a trance, and like my whole life was sort of flashing before my eyes in a dreamy and terrifying way. I felt about 10 seconds become 10 minutes, and a weird vulnerability, like a stranger walking in on me naked. Every hair on my body was standing up, and my heart was racing. And then, it all just stopped. And I snapped out of it, and drove on. I was terrified the whole way home, but also curious for an explanation. See, I kept trying to convince myself that it was just a sick deer, or that it was hit, or maybe internally injured. But the details of its legs, how they were crossed and how they were placed, and how it knew I was going to look at it before I did, and how its eyes looked and made me feel, it was all very strange. I don't know how I'll ever explain it, but I'll certainly never forget it. So,
wow.
Quite the experience from our Connecticut person.
Shout out to Connecticut, dude.
Yeah,
wow.
Shout out to Connecticut. They've got the weirdest stuff.
Yeah.
When it comes to cryptids.
You don't expect it.
I mean, yeah, in its own way. The Appalachia's got all sorts of interesting legends and strange things. And Connecticut's I'd say it's fairly close to the Appalachians, if memory serves. So, what are your thoughts? What do you think this thing is? You think it's sickly deer or something more?
First off, completely invested. That was a great story.
Thank you. I try. Thank you to Connecticut.
Mm-hmm. But also, that's got me something more.
Right? There's something to be said for seeing a sick deer in the road and it's looking at you and you got the whole deer in the headlights phenomenon. Yeah. But also, like, I don't know, man. I don't think I've ever heard of a deer looking you in the eye.
Yeah, that's
from the road. That it doesn't seem
very
quite natural.
Yeah,
quite normal.
Not very deer-like.
Paranormal, even.
Oh.
Ooh, yeah.
Shout to the name.
Yeah. So, well, what would you do if that, like, you were there, right? Like, you're this guy.
Right.
What are you doing? What's happening there?
So he's driving?
Yeah, he's driving up this old back road, like deep in Connecticut, wherever deep in Connecticut is. And like there's a cop and there's a truck, and then there's this weird deer in the middle of the road. And they're parked parallel. Like, what are you doing?
Well, first off, if I see a deer eyeballing me, I immediately flip into, like, take a Yui and then just go the other way.
Right, yeah. Just
out of there. I don't trust that. No way.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, like, what it sounds like is that is one of those kind of roads that you can't really, I mean, you could flip a Yui on it, but it's one of them long roads that you're not gonna, you kind of have to pass it, is my thought on that. But,
I guess I could work too,
yeah, right? I mean, that's what he did. He passed it, but he looked at it.
Right.
He did not follow his intuition.
No.
As one Ron Cole will tell you, follow your intuition. And this guy did not know the Ron Cole rule.
Right.
That is unfortunate for him. Anyways, well, we've been talking for a minute. Wow. I don't know how I'm going to fit more of this in here.
That's funny.
Now, Connecticut is known for having a bunch of spooky things.
Right.
I mean, I've got a whole book on the spooky things that live in Connecticut and the surrounding area. But I'm very curious if this might be something that happens around here as well. We have a lot of elk.
We do have a lot of elk.
Right. Maybe there's something to be said for like an elk spirit or an elk kind of thing. I don't know what to call it. A cryptid, perhaps. Perhaps a cryptid. But suffice it to say, I think that's pretty damn spooky.
That is pretty spooky.
And like, I just don't know how like, is it an evolutionary thing? You know, like the concept of, if you've ever heard, Uncanny Valley exists because there's something that pretends to be human, like a predator that pretends to be human. Is it something like that? Maybe has this deer become predatory?
Maybe.
But like, I'm the other thing is the logistics of this. How does a deer look you in the eye? Its eyes are on the side of its head.
Yeah, that
like it can only look you in the eye with one eye.
That's not right.
Which, to be fair, is still unnerving.
Yeah, that's
just to have a deer like pop up out of the road and look you in the eye with one of its eyes. That's I don't know if I like that.
Yeah,
I don't like my meat looking at me,
right,
so to speak. But
yeah, this is a sketchy deer.
Yeah, definitely a sketchy deer. Might even call it not a deer. That might not be a deer.
Maybe.
Yeah, like it's just that, like, imagine that, if you will, just staring down like you're going up to like you're going past Tayuchi,
right?
And like you're on that that forest road, and you see a cop pulled over on one side, and then you see a truck pulled over parallel to him, and like there's just this deer in the middle of the road lit up by headlights.
Yeah.
Right? That doesn't seem abnormal.
No.
Like, not around here. But, like...
The fact that it's eyeballing you.
Yeah, right? Well, like, the thing at the beginning, it wasn't eyeballing it. It was just, like, staring in the direction of the cops.
Oh.
And then when he passed it, it looked at him before he looked at it.
Ugh.
Yeah. That just...
Damn.
Yeah, but, like, imagine that out here, where there's Bigfoot sightings, and there's all sorts of creepy things.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's that.
Yeah, that's whack.
Yeah. I would not eat that deer.
I wouldn't either.
That
Hunting would be ruined for me.
Right, like venison, it's over. I'm not doing it. Not after that. That's done.
I'm going vegan.
Yeah, like it's over. I can't do venison after that. I mean, I haven't done venison before that. You know what? It's fine. It's no reporters around here, unless you viewers have anything to submit. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like Lycaeus Frequency at gmail.com. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Shameless plug.
I mean, this is the show.
This is the show.
You want to submit? That's how you submit your spooky encounters.
That is very true.
Yeah. Anyways, here at KFUG, late at night, things are creepy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, just the light outside is perfect for something to crawl out of the darkness and stare into the window.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I hope you like that. And just run around your brain now whenever you look at a window.
Oh, bro, I have that idea constantly. Every time I look out your window, I'm just like, what the?
Oh, yeah. No, that's good. That's good. That's a good thought to have.
That's good. Yeah.
It's a paranoid thought to have, but it's a good thought to have because when something inevitably does do that, you'll be prepared. You'll be like, oh, I knew this was coming.
Yeah.
It probably won't. It'll probably still scare you, but
you'll know at least.
Yeah, you'll feel it in like here. You'll feel validated, and that'll be a good feeling for about 3 seconds before it busts through the window and takes you.
Yeah, you'll see me freaking out, and then just like what, and then I'll be gone.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect.
It's like, well,
that's a great story.
That's one less member of Cyberpunk.
Exactly. Yeah, no more crypto. He's gone. It's over. He never existed.
True.
You ever heard about people just not existing?
Yeah.
It's real strange.
It's whack.
Yeah, I don't understand how it happens. Though I do suspect it has something to do with the spooky cryptids.
Maybe.
I mean, like, a lot of these things connect in some way. Whatever this is, I don't even know what it is. It's still on that I don't know what it is yet, and I don't like that. That's kind of the fear of the unknown that people live in.
So when you mean non-existent people, do you mean like people that you know exist but other people don't, or
It's more like people you know they exist,
Right.
but when you ask anyone,
Right.
they don't exist, and it's like
Oh.
you haven't seen them in a bit. They just vanished off the face of the earth. All their pictures are gone. Like it's
bro,
like a Mandela effect.
I've had that happen to me. It's weird.
Yeah.
I had an old friend from back home. One of my best friends. I knew him since like preschool, kindergarten, and
Yes.
he was like my best friend. And then like after I moved here, I hit up one of my other old friends, and I'm just like, hey dude, has so and so been how's he been? It's like, who? And like, we were all friends since like kindergarten. What do you mean? He's like, I don't know who you're talking about. I'm like, I sent him a pic of all of us. He's like, I don't remember that. What? And I'm just like, oh, okay. What? And so yeah, no one. Like that? Is that good? There we go.
That's better.
Sorry, everyone.
Continue. This interests me. I don't think I've ever actually known someone who has just had a person
No,
disappear.
yeah, it's whack. But yeah,
I've repeated a year before.
yeah.
When I was younger, I just repeated a whole year of my life.
Really?
Yeah, it was like 2010 or 2011. I was
Wow.
just sitting there, and like we had gone from 2010 all the way to 2011. Right, and I started writing 2011 on like all school papers.
Right.
And then it was 2010,
Wow.
and like it went back around to 2011. And I'm like, I've done this before. And I asked my mother and my father, and they're like, no, it's been 20. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like some weird time warp.
Right?
concept
Yeah,
or
some
whatever.
real weird time warp stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of like how this weird deer was warping this guy's perception of time. Maybe it was like a time perception thing.
Oh, maybe.
Or maybe I did just repeat a whole year, in which case I am actually 20. So,
Bro, join the club, man.
right? Huh.
But where was I? Oh yeah, my friends. So I hit up all my friends who used to be friends with them, and they're just like, I don't know who you're talking. I actually don't know. And then I even hit up his parents. His parents don't even remember him. Not even kidding. I'm like, wait, you don't remember your own child? I'm like, we never had that as a kid. I'm like,
Oh.
what?
Oh. That is extremely ominous.
The last day I saw him was freshman year. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I wonder if he has. I wonder if like his records have been purged, or if he like legally exists. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Because
Hey.
it's so whack.
Right?
Like, this person that all my friends knew, no one knows of me.
Not even his own. That is really weird.
Weird.
Yeah,
I have not found a single person who still remembers him either, so I'm on the hunt.
that is crazy.
Yeah.
If you guys know anyone that's disappeared completely off of all record, not even their parents know who they are, please feel free to drop a line at lycaeusfrequency@gmail.com, and maybe we'll discuss it.
Very good. Very good.
Listen, man, I gotta do it.
You
This
gotta
is
do
how
it.
it is. This is how
it's
it
called the
is.
plug.
Yeah, the plug. I mean, you gotta throw it in every now and again.
You gotta.
I'd spend
can't
twice in like 8 minutes, but that's fine.
Yeah,
It's a radio show.
Yeah.
It's all just
Not
the
like-
audio.
It's not like you can't.
Yeah,
When you're doing this kind of stuff, you gotta do a plug.
yeah, you gotta do it every now and again. But yeah, you know what? How about we do a little bit of research into this, and let's put a little song on, shall we? In the meantime, just a little musical interlude while we consult the tomes of cryptids and probably a pentagram or something. I don't know.
Oh, yes.
We'll throw the bones. We'll see what happens.
Ye old pentagram.
Ye old pentagram. And here to, on theme, be with a pentagram, is Robert Johnson with Me and the Devil Blues.
Oh, classic.
We're back. All right, we're back with a little bit of research. And funny enough, I should call it the not a deer thing. It is a phenomenon in the Connecticut and Virginia, kind of the Appalachia area. Not a deer is not exactly one creature, apparently. It's multiple instances of a similar creature that looks like a deer, but just a little off.
Right.
Like instead of having the eyes on the side of its head, the eyes are in the front, like in a predatory face.
Yeah.
Or it walks a certain weird way, or it has like misshapen like proportions.
Yeah.
Still playing. Nice. All right. Continuing. I don't know what to think about that. Like that, I guess that must be some kind of weird evolutionary thing, or maybe it's something like spirits trying to come around and be in that vulnerable space, in quotes, vulnerable to then, I don't know, eat a person or eat a something.
Maybe.
Like like how some butterflies have their different kind of it's mimicry. I'm trying to remember if they're biological mimicry, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a term for it. But let's see. Yeah. It's like there's massive antlers on some.
Yeah.
Forward-facing predator eyes, potentially oddly proportioned, more or less joints than a regular deer.
More or less joints. Oh.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So, just a few more joints in that leg.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's not at all off-putting.
Oh, no.
Or
perfectly fine.
Yeah, or maybe running at speeds of 30 miles per hour or faster.
I can do that.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, sure, no.
Yeah.
I wish, so that'd be great.
Right, yeah. Yeah. Some people think that this is like a deer with chronic wasting disease, which is essentially the deer variant of mad cow disease.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's kind of like zombie deer. If you watched the Boy Scouts Guide to
Zombie Apocalypse.
the zombie apocalypse,
Yeah.
it's basically that in real life, except it doesn't spread to humans yet.
I have the book. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Great book.
there's a lot of weird zombie things with like.
It really is.
There's cordyceps, there's viruses, there's the chronic wasting disease.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird ways that people can become zombified. None of which I'd like to experiment with in our current anything.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, deer that are that way are often unsettling.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I mean, looking at a deer that's wasting away live is kind of
something off-putting.
Yeah, it's like looking at someone who's just wasting away live, except it doesn't talk unless it does talk, in which case run. If it's talking, run. Don't listen. By God, don't listen.
Yeah, don't.
That's like rule number 1. If a deer starts talking to you in the woods, you don't listen. You go.
Yeah, no.
Especially at night. Like during the day, maybe less weird. Probably don't do it.
Oh, yeah, no.
But like at night, definitely don't do it. It's a don't do it either way, but a definitely don't do it if it's at night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know anyone that's seen, well, not a deer?
I think my grandpa a long time ago. I think back in like the 70s or 80s.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The best time for cryptid hunting.
Right?
If only we could go back to that era
For
where we
real.
can hunt cryptids
Yeah.
properly. I mean, we still can,
still
but
can,
their cities have encroached.
Oh, yeah.
And so they have less places to hide, and thus they get better at hiding.
Yeah.
Around here, cryptid hunting's good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, hell, we're 2 hours south? No, 2 hours north. 2 hours north of Willow Creek, right?
Yeah, we're 2 hours
Which is Bigfoot capital of the world.
Yep.
And like, I think I've been there once.
I've driven past it. I don't think I've
I
been there.
went there once. You know the story of when I went there that I will not tell on air, but I went there. That was a rough day.
That was rough.
I didn't even get to see all the Bigfoot stuff. I just we went there for the river.
Sadness.
Yeah. It wasn't even a good river, man. It was hot.
Yep.
Too hot. No shade, too hot.
That's usually the case.
Yeah. I mean, there's some good rivers around here. Like the Smith, like a lot of the Smith's little like interludes, they're great. You can go sit on them and like you're not going to burn out.
No.
There, you're going to burn out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
And
happens.
like in the Smith, you're going to find Bigfoot. Not where I was at. You definitely were going to find Bigfoot over there.
Right.
That place was like parking lot. It was all rocks. Mm. The only reason a Bigfoot go out there is to like catch a fish. And then he'd be back in the woods like that. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
There are better places to get fish. Like people's garbage cans.
True.
Yeah. So, not a deer, right?
Yep.
What would you describe as like the worst kind of not a deer that you can think of? Because like it could be anything. It's just not a deer. It looks like a deer,
Right.
but it isn't.
So I think it would have to be like all basically the descriptions. Like if it was to be like the perfect not a deer, I think it would have to be all the descriptions that are given, like misproportioned size, issues with like the extra tendons or bones, stuff like that. Thing where it looks at you but you can't see it and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that.
Yeah.
I'd have a heart attack if I saw
Right. I see what you mean. See, my thoughts were what like a good, like a really perfect not a deer is. And like if I were to genetically engineer this like creature, this thing, just to sit there and like creep people out.
Right.
I think I would have to go with, so you start with the base deer, right? Just a deer. It's a normal deer. Nothing wrong with this deer.
No.
Not yet.
Yeah.
And then you take its eyes and you make them just a little too big.
Yep.
And then you bring them in.
Yep.
Just like close enough to where it's like, oh, I can't tell if that's predatory or not. And so it's like kind of an omnivorous right there. And so that gives it, it's like, oh, that's off. That's not where those eyes should be. And then you take the teeth, and instead of having like the normal teeth like I have on my ears right now.
Right.
Thank you, Riley Bennett. So like you take those teeth, and instead of them being kind of that masticating molar situation,
Right.
sharpen them.
Yeah.
Sharpen them. Just enough to where it's noticeable. But not enough to like be like, like wolf fangs or anything. That's too much. Right. So you take that. You've got this deer with weird eyes and weird teeth. And then you make them walk weird. You make them walk like they were just born. All the time.
Gotcha. Ooh.
So like they stumble around
Like a
and they're
drunk
just
person.
like there. And I'd give them a predatory instinct, like follow you, like how people do. Like
Yeah.
people back in the day, they used to. That's how we hunted our prey. We would follow them.
Right.
We wouldn't run all the time per se. We would just keep walking until they got tired, and
Yeah.
then we'd kill them.
Yeah, that's whack.
Yeah. Now imagine that, but with a deer, and you flip the tables.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not.
It's not fun, is it?
No, it's not fun.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like sitting on your back porch, you know.
Oh yeah.
You doing what you do on your back porch, whatever that is. You smoke, whatever.
Right.
And you look past your porch light, and you see those reflective eyes
Right.
of like a dog or like a cat. And it gets closer, and it's a deer.
Right.
And you're like, oh,
What the?
what? And then it gets closer. It's getting closer. Deer don't come close to people much.
No, they don't really.
Unless you're here and you're a tourist about maybe 30 miles south.
Right.
In which case they will come close to you. I've been within 5 feet of a massive elk.
I do.
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying, but it's a beautiful animal.
Yeah, it's a beautiful animal. Terrifying. Don't do it.
Oh,
Please, if anyone from out of town is listening to this,
Don't do it.
look. Don't get close to the deer. They will hit you.
They will hit you.
And nobody believes me when I say that. Like, to the tourist, nobody believes me.
Oh, just go on YouTube.
Right?
You'll
Like,
see it.
I've watched people get, like, within 5 feet of these deer and take pictures, and I'm just like, you're gonna die, dude.
Yep.
It's gonna hit you. It didn't. They were lucky. Anyways, so, right? Back to the point. Deer don't come close. This deer's coming close.
Oh yeah.
This deer, and you're starting to look at it closer, and you notice that it's got a wet nose, kind of like a dog does.
Right.
Except that's not wet nose like fluid that like like animals have. That's blood.
Yeah.
Oh, that's blood. And then it realizes that you've realized, and so it runs at you.
You're done.
Yeah, you're done. It's over.
No winning.
No one's hearing from you again.
You can never win.
Your record's scrubbed. You're gone.
It's like my one friend,
Your one friend, what's his name even?
Lucas.
Lucas. He's gone. Lucas doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, Lucas is gone. Poor.
He got by not a deer.
He got, man.
It's over.
Rest
Like,
in peace, Lucas. You were
yeah.
my buddy.
Yeah, he went out into the woods, as you do.
As you
When
do.
you're a young teen trying to prove themselves, you go out into the dark woods alone, like a fool.
Oh, yeah.
And he got. I mean, I did that last night.
Really?
Yeah, my sister wanted to do spooky things.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
So I decided, all right, we're going to do some spooky things. We looked around. We didn't find any spooky things, but we did go into some spooky woods, and we walked like maybe half a mile.
You didn't hit me up, bro?
I was tempted, but it was cold last night.
Gotcha.
It was ice cold, 30
Yeah.
degrees cold.
It was pretty bad, yeah.
My hands were like freezing.
It was pretty bad this morning, too.
Yeah, I slept most of this morning.
I did. I woke up at
Yeah,
noon.
this broadcast is the Night Owl broadcast. But yeah, I think I woke up technically at 9, and then I woke up again at 1. But that's besides the point. So we were out there and we're walking, and like this is a long road because I looked at one of the road sign at the front. And it's at 25 miles an hour, which means it's a long road.
Wow.
Yeah. Right. So we're walking out there. I cannot disclose where this is, but it was spooky. Right. So we're going, and then we get to this like about half a mile down the road. We have a flashlight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we have a flashlight, and that's it. So we're getting there, and then we hear like first we heard water, which is okay, whatever. It's water. It was raining recently, and then we heard this growling noise.
Oh.
Yeah. We turned right the fuck around. Wasn't actually anything.
Right.
We stopped about 10 feet after, and we're like,
Yeah.
it's water. It's water making a growling noise. Because like, you know, some water will land a certain way and it'll go whoa, 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 whoa,
Right.
right.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It sounded like a growl of like a bear or something, and then we're like, oh, okay, we're going. And then no, it was just gurgling water.
Right.
But I went and looked into it later. Those roads go deep into the hills, and they split off into like 10 different roads, and they end up like way out by like Rock Creek Ranch by the end of it.
Damn.
Yeah. Suffice it to say, I was not going to walk that road, and I don't think I will walk that road.
We have to go check it out, though.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Well, we could drive down the road. We don't have to go down the other road.
Right. Well, because the thing is, there's like, because you can't take a car on it unless some very specific parameters are met.
It's
a gate.
It's that kind of road, huh?
It is that kind of road. Yeah, overall, very spooky experience. My sister did not think it was spooky enough.
Yeah, that's Sam, though.
That's Sam. We did go to a different place, which we found out we couldn't go to when we got there, which I will also not disclose
Fair enough.
for similar reasons. But yeah, there's a lot of creepy things around here, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
For example, everything in the woods.
True.
I mean, like my mother, she saw a gnome, which you wouldn't think is scary until you see them standing on a signpost while you're driving by.
I think she's told me this story.
Yeah, I think she's told a lot of people this story. I know she was like she told me first because like right after it happened.
Right.
But just like think about that little man,
Right.
little little man, red cap, standing on a signpost. You drive by, the headlights hit him. He jumps off and disappears into the field.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's...
Yeah, no. I'm not screwing with that. I ain't screwing with that with a gun. I ain't screwing that with anything.
That's
not even a crucifix.
That's not a gnome, I guess.
Yeah, that's the definition of a gnome. Little man, red hat.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's sketchy. I don't like that.
that is sketch.
I don't like that.
Extremely sketchy. And like, you know, there's that's not even the only haunted thing around here. Like these woods are haunted. That's That's beyond doubt, I think.
Dude, Dead Lake.
No, my
God.
sister wanted to go to Dead Lake. The gate was up though, so they couldn't go. In the car. I mean, they could have parked it and walked up, but that's just. I've done it.
Yeah.
I've walked up there.
I have too.
I don't like it up there.
I don't either.
Like it was during the day. It was a cloudy day.
Right.
And I think I was like 12. And it's funny because I thought that like a dinosaur was gonna pop out of those primordial woods and bite me.
It kind of looks like dinosaur kind of territory.
Well, 'cause, yeah, we were sitting. It was me and Cameron. You remember Cameron?
Yeah, I know.
Yes, we were there and we were walking around and like we were gonna go fishing in Dead Lake.
Oh, genius.
Yeah, it was Cameron's idea.
Oh, of course.
Right, so we get there, we're going, and then we get up there and like we're sitting there. And like nothing's and like we're thinking maybe we shouldn't go fishing here because we looked at the lake and the lake was what it is.
Yeah.
And then both of us got this very sudden dread. You know, that very sudden dread that only happens when spooky things are happening.
Yup.
And so we grabbed our gear and we booked it.
Wow.
And I was lucky enough to know someone on that road already.
Oh, that's good.
And so I got to call home and be like, yo, pick us up. We just saw some spooky shit.
Yeah.
And we got out of there just fine. It started to become right about nightfall when we left. Like when we left that person's house.
Right.
So like it was a quite the little adventure.
Oh, dude.
For my little 12-year-old self. And I think that's why I am That's one of the reasons I'm so weird and go to spooky places now.
Oh, of course.
Because
it's interesting.
Yeah, it's festered in the pit of my stomach for my entire life. And so now I'm here talking about cryptids and spooky things.
Yeah. I have a story about Dead Lake, but I was 19.
Oh, you can do it, man. That's more recent.
Yeah.
I want to hear more recent things.
It was actually a couple weeks from my 20th.
Ooh.
Yeah. Me, Bree, and Tyler, because Derek.
Right.
He was at work.
Uh-huh.
And
nice.
Thank you. Sorry about that. He's not gonna listen. But
that's ballsy.
Thank you. But so me, Tyler, and Bree, we're all going, because we're gonna go to the dunes.
Yeah, the Tall Dunes.
Yeah, and we get to the dunes and everything's fine. You know, we're rolling down the hill and stuff. But because I'm wearing my boots, it takes me forever. And so they decide we're gonna go run in the bushes and hide from you. But I didn't know that. So they leave me, and I get out. And I'm going through, and there's this little like dirt path that leads to like that little lake, kind of right by the.
I don't think I've been that far. We only got to the main lake, like that big one with the bathroom next to it.
Oh, really?
That's where we were at when we felt the weird feeling and got out of there.
Oh, we went in the bushes.
Yeah, no, that sounds like you.
Yep. When does it not sound like me?
Yeah, I mean, you get yourself into some very interesting situation.
I'm somehow still alive. It's great.
Yeah, I know. I've gotten myself into some very strange situations. Not nearly as many as you have.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I've seen things out on Lake Earl.
Oh, I have too.
Yeah, like so, like you know that tall grass out on Lake Earl.
Yeah.
So I was out there with a buddy of mine, and we were like, I can't remember what we were doing, but we were both in the car, and like, I think we were just going to look for spooks, and we were sitting there, and we turned out the lights in the car because that's what you do when you're looking for spooks.
Oh, of course.
And we were sitting there, and he doesn't have very good eyesight. I have better eyesight, but it was dark,
right?
So it was hard to see anything.
Your sight.
So we were sitting there when we start seeing these little things pass by the car. It's like these, like it looked like little rabbits almost, like weird, ghostly, ethereal rabbit-looking things. They're just like passing by the car. I'm like, okay, whatever. That's probably a trick of the light.
That's weird.
And then I see something off in the distance, like the tall grass. I see this white figure. Like imagine someone draped in a blanket, but then they're wearing white skinny jeans. So like there's like a very drapey upper half and a very very obvious lower half.
Interesting.
So I walk out of the tall grass, come down the road about 20 feet, and walk back into the grass. And I'm sitting here like, okay, maybe I'm hallucinating. And then I look at the guy, and he looks at me, and he's like, and I'm like, did you see that? He's like, you saw that? Lights on, car go.
Yeah.
We're gone.
For real.
That was, that was terrifying.
Oh, I bet.
So, to say the least. Great night though. That was that's gonna be a great. That's
awesome.
That's a great
children
story.
That one, dude.
Yeah, like
yeah. What was that? Oh yeah. So we're going.
Yeah, you keep going.
Okay, but we're all the way at the dunes, and I'm getting my boots on, and they go hide, and so I go down, I get through the little path, and then there's a little dirt path that the little lake, and I'm standing there, and I could have swore I heard them both run past me behind my back, and I'm like, okay, I get it.
I see what you're doing here.
Yeah, and so I get out of that part, and then I keep going down the path, and I'm thinking they're gonna be hiding somewhere, like in the front. They're gonna jump scare me.
Yeah, of course.
They're gonna spook me because they know I get scared kind of easily.
Yeah.
But,
I know that very well.
Yes, you do.
And if our hunts in the dark have anything to say about it.
We have to do that again. That was fun.
Yeah, we do. We have to find a place to do it, though.
True. But,
Viewers, if you know any dark woods that nobody's going to look in,
let us know.
Give us a holler.
But,
we need content.
We really do. It's the first show.
It's the first show. I mean, hey, man.
It only can go from here.
It can only go up from here. As we are doing this, it is going down from here.
For real. But so I get out into the big clearing. I'm like, I'm looking around. I don't see him. I would be able to see Ty. You could see Ty sticking out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, Ty is very bright.
Yeah, and Bree is like, Bree's kind of harder to see, but like,
yeah, she's smaller.
Yeah, but once like I see like head outline, I could see her. Yeah, basically, but I couldn't see him.
I mean, once you see her, she's very pale.
But then I flip around because I'm like, maybe they like snuck back, and I swear to God, I see them flip the other way, standing just like this, like kind of like weird, like kind of like a meme pose, but not a meme. It was weird.
Right. So it's like kind of a doppelganger situation, is what I'm hearing.
A little bit.
Right. Oh, and like a mirror.
And I'm just like, what the fuck? And then just all of a sudden, whoosh, They go in the bushes. I'm like, and then like I'm going the other way. And I'm like, but what if they're still back there? And so I'm not even kidding. I stayed there for like a whole hour and a half trying to find them. And then I get a call from Tyler. He's like, dude, where have you been? I'm like, I'm still in the woods. Where are you? He's like, dude, we've been at the car for like an hour and a half now. I'm like,
oh,
what? No.
Oh.
I literally sat there and I had like an asthma attack at everything. And
oh,
like
that's
all
not
the panic
yeah.
attacks.
Oh yeah, I bet. I mean, we've been at the car for the past hour.
It was bad.
That's like like if this was a joke, that's the punchline because
Luckily, Bree, she knows her stuff kind of with cryptids, so she's just like, "What did you see?" And then I told her, and she's like,
"You." And
then she's like, "No, you didn't." And it's like, "What you're gonna do is you're gonna stay on the phone, and then you're gonna walk through the woods. You're not gonna get off your phone at all, and you're gonna walk."
I had to do something like that one time for Raiden.
Oh, of course.
His girlfriend lost her phone out in the woods when we went out.
Told me
we
this.
went out to have lunch, and it was whatever. It was cool.
Yeah.
Those woods are creepy, sure, but during the day they're nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So walk her over out there. She loses her phone. We get back to my house. She's realized she's lost her phone. I'm like, oh great. So we go back out there.
Right.
It's starting to become nightfall. Oh yeah. And you know how Raiden is. He's kind of a brave guy.
He's a very brave one.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna go get it. You stay in the car. The both of you stay in the car. Here are my keys. If anything happens, if I'm not back, take my car, go home.
And then he goes.
Right? So I go out there and like I find it. It's over a log and like it was a long walk. But the thing is, as I'm going, I'm hearing things in the bushes next to me.
Oh, of course.
And I'm like,
no.
I can't tell what this is. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna jog. I never jog. I'm gonna jog.
You know it's bad when you jog.
Right, because I wasn't full on sprint. I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna run. This is over.
Right.
I'm gonna die. I need to run.
You're just
this is like, oh,
hastily
threatening.
Yeah.
Aura. Right, so I'm going.
Speed up.
I get it. Raiden calls me. By the way, she had the funniest name for him. It was like Big Papa or something in her phone. It was hilarious.
Big Papa.
Yeah, so I answer. I'm like, hey, I found it. And he's like, where are you? I'm like, I'm on the trail. Are you in the car? He's like, no, I came to follow you.
Oh.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have done that. Go back to the car.
Yeah. What are
right.
You doing,
So
Raiden?
I'm at this point. I'm coming back to the car, and I hear louder things in the bushes. So I'm running. I'm like, screw it. I'm running. I run out there, and I see Raiden. I see him running on a different trail.
Of course.
He followed me down the wrong trail.
Oh, Raiden, buddy.
Yeah, Raiden.
Buddy.
Prayers to him where is he at now? Like Idaho?
I thought he was in like Louisiana or something.
I don't know where he is, but prayers to him because he damn needs them.
He really does.
Especially with all the things he does. Like that.
Yeah.
He really took on the cryptid hunter instinct, which sometimes is not good.
Not good, especially in the dark.
Yeah, well, his thing is the sun was setting at that point. It hadn't fully set. And that's when the worst time for these things is that liminal period, because then things can jump through in a liminal period.
Right.
You know, at least so I've read.
Right.
So far, the most liminal thing I've found is darkness. I've seen things in the dark that weren't there. I've heard things in the dark that weren't there.
Yeah, I have too. It's weird. It's not.
Like back out at my place, I've been like posted up on a stump for a hunt in the dark, and like I'll hear something walking towards me, and I'll almost see like a silhouette, and I'm like, I can't tell if that's a person.
Right.
I'm like, hello, no response.
Right.
I'm like, oh, hello, no response.
Right.
Oh, maybe I should move, and then I don't move. I'm just like, I'm just gonna stay here. If it doesn't come, it's not gonna come closer. It comes closer.
Right.
It's not gonna come closer. It comes closer, and then it doesn't do anything. It just like vanishes.
Right.
When the hunter comes around, like it's just gone. Being the hunter in those games is absolutely terrifying, though.
Oh yes.
Especially in these woods. For those of you who don't know, a hunt in the dark is kind of like
hide and seek in a way.
Yeah, it's hide and seek in the dark in the woods, and the seeker has a lantern that they can't turn off. And that's, well, I mean, they can turn it off. It's very not recommended.
Nope.
But you can't, but yeah, because you can't see otherwise. But the thing is about the lantern is both, it is your sight and everyone else's, because everyone else can see where you're at now.
Shout out to me 2 years ago.
Dude, I've done some hunts. Yeah. Ooh. I got paid to do it for a couple times though, so It was a good gig.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyways, I think at this point we've come to our viewers submissions segment of the show. Let's gaze into our crystal ball that definitely isn't connected to the Ethernet, and look for a little suggestion.
Ah, yes.
We'll see you in a moment.
Apple.
Well, folks, that was Fleetwood Mac with The Chain.
Great song.
Yeah, great song. Love that song.
Fleetwood Mac, man.
Really, Fleetwood Mac is just kind of, that's it. The end all be all.
My cousin hates that band, though.
Yeah, I don't know your cousin, but I don't like them now.
Well, because he learned Landslide for his ex-girlfriend.
Oh.
And they broke up.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
I got songs like that.
I do too.
Like there's
I got too many songs.
What's the name of the band? What's the name of the band?
Give me a
The
song,
Bidding. No, not The Bidding. The guys who did The Bidding.
The Bidding.
It's this semi-popular song. It's Tally Hall. The band Tally Hall does this song called Playing in the Sand.
Never heard
And
of them.
oh, it hurts. It hurts me so deeply.
I've never heard of them. That's interesting.
It's a good song. It's just, I can't do it. Anyways,
Bad memories.
to our viewer submission from our Ethernet adapted crystal ball, we have
Ether Bowl.
a ghost encounter from one Ollie M. When I was about 8 years old, my siblings and I would frequently spend the night over at my grandmother's house. It was always commonplace for us to make a pallet or a makeshift sleeping area in the living room. Our grandmother would always sleep on the couch in the living room, and I'd make my pallet right next to her. One night in particular, I remember sleeping over without any of my siblings. I remember waking up in the middle of the night and seeing my grandmother standing in the archway to the kitchen. I wondered if it was already early morning time, as she frequently woke up early to get the morning coffee brewing. As I laid on the floor looking over towards my grandmother, I noticed a faint glow around her. She looked over at me from the arch and smiled slightly, and then continued in the kitchen. As I began to lay back down in my pallet, I looked over to my left and saw that my grandma was still asleep on the couch. A deep chill ran down my spine, and I immediately put the covers over my head. I realized that my grandmother, that the person that I saw in that kitchen doorway was not in fact my grandmother, but her older sister, whom resembled my grandmother and could have been her twin. She'd passed away in the house some years before. I never did tell my grandmother or anyone what I saw that night until many years later. Still gives me chills thinking about it.
Ugh.
Thank you, Ollie M.
Yeah, that's
I mean, at least it wasn't like a bad thing.
No.
You know, it wasn't like a shadow man creeping around the corner of your archway.
No, I was just kind of chilling there.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a benevolent ghost.
Yeah.
Which some people say don't exist.
I think they exist.
They can exist.
I feel like they should.
But
Yeah,
just like, I mean, thinking about
the fact that happened to you, it's like, wow.
Right? Like, I'm imagining this in my head.
Right.
Like my my grandma Alma, who lived in the house before me. And like, I'm just imagining I'm laying there on the couch and I look over and I see that.
Right there, yeah.
Right? And I'm like, okay, whatever. Because, Grandma Alma. The thing is, I didn't really meet her very much. But like, conceptually hear it. So like, I'm looking over, like, oh, okay, whatever. And then I think about it. And I'm like, wait, she's dead.
Hold up.
Hold up. Wait a minute. That doesn't sound right.
That's not right.
What do you mean?
Oh, I had the same situation with my great grandpa actually. Oh. Yeah, I think it was like 10 or 11, and my grandma on my dad's side, we were staying in because she's got her main house, and then she's got like a separate house. In the
like
back.
a little guest house.
Yeah,
yeah.
And so usually my family would sleep in that when we'd come visit from
right.
And I was sleeping in like the main bed with my little brother or something, and I wake up because I felt like waking up, I guess, at like
your body wakes up sometimes.
Yeah, and I'm not even kidding. Like my great grandpa's sitting on the end of the bed, and I didn't realize who it was because like I only saw him once when I was like 1.
Yeah,
and he turns his head 360.
Oh,
and he
you
goes
mean 180.
Yeah.
No, I just watch his head spin around like a fucking bobble.
Spins around. He's just like, okay, I got the area of the room.
All right, I have checked the room. You are safe.
But
not from me.
no, from me. You are wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just looks at me and goes, "Oh, hey, Mike." I looked at because I didn't recognize him at first because like I don't see a lot of pictures of him.
Right.
And I'm just like, who are you? And then like, all of a sudden, because there was like a picture book right by my bed because we were flipping through them, and I'm just like, I'm looking down, I'm like, should I? And I check, and I find a picture that's exactly matching what he's wearing and what he looks like, and I'm just like, you're my great grandpa. And he goes, yeah. And then my mom wakes up and is like, who are you talking to? And then I look back and he's gone. I'm just like, are you?
So you're one of the scary children, is what I'm hearing. One of those children that's like, I saw grandpa.
Yeah, it was weird.
In the horror movies. I saw grandpa.
Yeah, my mom just goes, who are you talking to, baby? I'm just like, I'm talking to great grandpa. It's like, oh, that's nice, honey. And then she's like, wait.
Wait a minute.
Both of your great grandparents are dead.
Wait a minute. That don't sound right.
Like, what the are you doing?
Yeah. I don't think I ever had that happen to me, but my grandpa still makes his influence known on my house. The one that used to live there.
Right.
He definitely makes his influence known on the house, and I think I've made friends with him because he doesn't fuck with me. Here's hoping he still doesn't fuck with me when I get home.
Oh, bro, my grandpa, my grandma's house that I'm living with right now, I swear he is haunting that just to piss me off, or just to because he was a goofy guy. He was a really goofy guy.
So was my grandpa. He'll slam the toilet in my mom's room. Like he'll take the toilet seat and just slam it down in the middle of the night, or type on the keyboard in the middle of the night.
He did one of the funniest things to me. I swear. I was taking a shower. And I locked the door, of course.
Right? Did you just hit the lights?
Not only did he shut the lights off, he opened the curtains and then he unlocked the door and opened it. And I'm just like, bruh,
I can't tell if that's a hallucination or like that. Ooh, that sounds like a lot.
I swear, bro, it was crazy.
It seems excessive, honestly.
It was
like
weird.
It would have been just enough to flick the light. That's enough energy as is. Now I'm gonna open the curtain and open the door.
Bro, my grandpa's wired over there. I swear, it's
what's he smoking? Like what are they?
Apparently my dad's
is he
weed.
smoking like wall insulation?
I don't know. Probably.
That's on brand.
I want to smoke with him, so you know.
Right.
Shout out to Grandpa.
Folks,
I love you.
Yeah. Shout out to Mikey's dead grandpa.
It's all good though. I'm not gonna be going home tonight, so it's fine.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm sure he won't come find you.
He probably will.
Some ghosts haunt
follows me.
people.
I swear he follows me.
That's what my mother says. At least she had a ghost that haunted her. Yeah, but that's a story for another time.
Of course.
It seems we're coming to the end of our broadcast tonight, and well, I don't know really what else to say. It's been so nice talking to my co-host here. You'll be hearing a different voice next week, but he will be back.
Don't worry, boys and girls.
Probably he'll be back. I don't know. Maybe a not a deer will eat him.
Here's hoping not. However, I would love to just have a fist fight with a not a deer.
Yeah, man.
That'd be awesome.
I'd pay to see that. I'd pay to see you try to.
I'd pay to see that, dude.
We all pay to see you fight a not a deer.
I'd bet against me though, because I'm like, I know I'm gonna lose.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
if I die, I'm at least gonna win.
Right, exactly. Well, I suppose that we just gotta call it now. It's been fun.
It's been fun. It's been great.
KFUG Radio. And well, I do suppose, if I can make this work properly, that we'll be seeing you next